everyone. It's me, Ryoko. Welcome to the third installment of Dinner with Ryoko. My guest tonight is Tairn. Tairn's been streaming for an entire 84 years. If you guys can believe,
It's been 84 years.
if you guys can believe that. Um, so, welcome on in, Tairn, to Dinner with Ryoko.
Thank you all for having me as your guest. I may have already stuffed all of my food in my face.
That's okay. I have my food right here, and then I just made mozzarella sticks too. Though I doubt I'll ever get to them. Let me just make sure I have everything I need. It never fails. Every time I do one of these, I'm like, okay, I got everything I need, and then I sat down. I was all ready to start, and the door's wide open, and I realized don't have any napkins. I'm a slob. I'm gonna be making a mess. I'm gonna need to white pizza and whatever other juices I get on myself off. But we're all set now. Just a little background for everybody who might not be aware. My hair's a mess. First of all, um, Taryn's responsible for all the artwork and layout stuff you see here. The alerts. Taryn was instrumental in creating those as well, and speaking of which, there was an alert that went off before we even went live, so I want to thank Kayla for her follow. And
Thank you.
and yes, and Taryn, thank you for the host. I saw that go off while I was running around.
Oh.
So I guess we can get right into it. What got you into streaming? What's your story? I guess as far as you getting into Twitch and streaming.
What got me into Twitch and streaming?
Yes.
Oh, well, it's kind of a sad story, actually. Um, I was dating this person, and I had spent all of my time with them. And then when we broke up, I had this craving to be around people, but I hate leaving my house. So I remembered that Twitch was a thing. So I started uh, just, poking around on Twitch, just finding like-minded people. And I came across Nico's stream, who led me to a whole bunch of other streamers. And then I became really good friends with, I think she changed her name now to Tales of Tiny. When I met her, it was Tiny Ginger Judge.
Oh wow! So
And we
you were there for like day one of
of Tiny
Tiny.
Stream, yeah, day one. Um, and we got to talking and whatnot, and she was saying that she was going to start streaming. I'm like, you know what? I want to start streaming too. And she actually sent me a camera to help me uh, pursue streaming, and we kind of started streaming around the same time. I was like, "Oh, my friends are streaming. I'll stream too," and that's pretty much how I got into streaming. It's one of those, hey, I want to make friends on the internet. Let me do this thing.
Yeah, and that's you bring up a good point. Like Twitch is a great way to meet new people. I've met so many people on Twitch. A lot of them I don't talk to anymore, but it definitely you get to know one group of people, and it really opens the door to like a slew of other communities that you can get you know into. I mean, I met Tiny on a whim. I just was looking for LGBT uh, Twitch channels, found hers, and now I know all these other amazing people because of that.
Yeah, like the LGBTQ alphabet, uh, all kind of support each other in that beautiful way. So it's pretty easy to find. If you find one that you like, you can usually piggyback through a raid or something like that to somebody else who equally is awesome.
Right. Oh, I don't know what that was. I hope it wasn't important.
It's not
Um,
important anymore.
so in those early days, what did you stream?
Oh god, what did I stream? The very early days, I see. I waited till I had an actual PC to stream, because all I had was a Chromebook, which you can't even download Steam on.
Oh,
So,
jeez.
yeah, it was rough. I believe I was doing most of my streaming through my PS4 and using remote play to actually stream the game, because I didn't have a capture card, and I would do things like Human Fall Flat with a couple of friends that I made, or I would do Assassin's Creed and random things like that. Um, I did a couple of racing games for no apparent reason, and a lot of like music rhythm games. Yeah,
And
and then
that
I would stream art now and then.
and that was all done on the PS4 back then.
Except for the racing games, the Assassin's Creed and Human Fall Flat and all that kind of stuff, I did through my PlayStation. And then when I got my PC, I started like, hey, I could start trying to do like art streams and random games. I did Stardew Valley for a while too.
Oh, Slice Raven, thank you so much for the host.
Hey Raymond.
What racing games were you streaming back then? Because I love a good racing
I
game.
I was streaming Redout. I believe this was called Redout. It's Did you ever play Extreme G on like the N64 or Wipeout?
I know Wipeout.
So it's kind of like Wipeout, where it's a racing game that instead of it being a car, it's more of a spaceship. So you have like air brakes and stuff like that, and you kind of float around the track.
Oh, that's cool.
It's intense, but it's really fun. I love racing games like that. I don't like traditional racing games. Like
Right.
I am guilty of playing like Gran Turismo and stuff like that, but
You like those
I don't know.
futuristic
That,
ish.
and because most of the soundtrack is all like heavy techno, I'm like, that's what I want to race to. I want to race to heavy techno.
Yeah, I think a soundtrack can make or break. I mean, it can make or break any game, but I think a racing game, like, it really just helps you essentially concentrate.
Yeah,
Especially like if
that
the soundtrack that comes with it is garbage. I've played a lot of racing games. I'll turn down the audio and just play, like YouTube and listen to that
I
while I
mean,
play.
I do the same thing when I play games now. I'll be like, yeah, I'm not feeling the soundtrack. Let me turn this off and turn my Spotify on.
And you brought up something I've noticed with the last two people. Well, I don't know. I don't think Raven did, but I know Enviro said how she used to be a PS4 streamer, and I've known
Mm-hmm.
other people that I've hung out with on Twitch, and they're the same way. They used to. That's how they got their start. I just think that's kind of a an interesting pathway into big time streaming is streaming from the console, and I've
Oh
done
yeah.
it. I've done it once or twice. I know I did it before I really got back. Excuse me. Into streaming. I did a few on the PS4, and I just did one a couple weeks ago, just because it's so easy. You just sit there. You don't have to put on any clothing or make yourself look presentable. You could just sit there, and if you have a headset, great. If not, you're just essentially playing video games for people. Which is
Yeah, I mean it's also a great way to stream in general, because like I know a lot of people put a lot of stock into how good their camera setup is and how good their mic setup is and their lighting and all that stuff. But if you have something you can stream on, you can stream. I mean, it doesn't have to be gorgeous, but if your personality's there, then go for it. Xbox, PS4, I don't know. Can you stream off of the Switch? I have no idea.
I
I don't
think
have a Switch.
you need something special, I think, to do that.
But like, if you've got a streaming service through your console, go for it. There's nothing. There's literally nothing stopping you.
Yeah, and it's if that, and if you, like you say, if you want to get into streaming, and as long as you have the personality, the rest is gonna work itself out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, why do you stream?
Why do I stream? Um, well, I did take a break for a long time from streaming. So like my new reason to come back to streaming is I miss being able to have those clippable moments with my friends. um, it's not so much about for streaming. It's not so much about making money or collecting a whole bunch of random people and be like, yeah, follow me, I'm awesome. It's more. I want to be able to stream things with my friends and be able to clip those moments and go back, be like, remember when you did this stupid shit right here? I do, and I got the video to prove it. Those are my favorite moments of streaming. Period. Is when you have some random thing that happens. It always makes you laugh. So it's like my Kodak moment.
I gotcha.
So that's why I stream now, because we were doing games and stuff and all that kind of whatnot off stream, and there were moments that happened. I'm like, I wish I could replay this moment. I wish I could see this moment over and over again and share it with other people who weren't there so they could laugh too. And I'm like, I can't do that if I don't stream it. So if I stream it, I can have it, and I can keep it, and I can share it, and I can embarrass the crap out of them for years to come.
Yeah, and I like that's. I mean, it's just it's another way to hang out with your friends. That's the reason I like to stream is I get to hang. I want to play video games and talk to people about said video game or whatever it is I am streaming. Um, sorry. Yeah, I get that, and it's always fun to to have those flippable moments so you can bust balls later in chat. The one thing I want to circle back to, I didn't mention at the top of the stream is what you stream. You mainly stream D&D and art, and I was wondering
mainly.
I was wondering if you could kind of touch upon what that's like and whatnot.
So since I've come back to streaming, I've been mainly doing the D&D thing, which it has been a blast. Just I love all of my party members. I do the DMing of it out of necessity. We couldn't find a DM, and I'm like, you know what? I'll be a DM. I'll do it. I'll take the time and the hours, and I'll do the DMing. And it's just been a lot of fun getting to put them through their paces and giving them an adventure. As far as the streaming part of it, like when I stream that, I don't actually worry too much about the streaming aspect. Like I set it up and I let it go. The mods watch the chat and keep track of any redemptions along the way. But when I'm streaming D&D, I'm not reading chat. I'll thank people for any alert that goes off, but don't really interact with them because I'm laser focused on keeping the story coherent.
I hear you.
And then like when it comes to the art side of it, I'm pretty much just bullshitting around with my art program to be like, what can I make today? And then people can redeem things, be like, hey, I'm redeeming an art request. I want this random thing. And as long as it fits within TOS, I'll create it.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't fit within TOS, they gotta pick something else. It's like, I'm not getting banned because you want me to draw a naughty picture of like two horses. I'm sorry, it's not happening. But I mean, in the time to come, I might change the art stream to like miscellaneous Wednesday or something like that because sometimes I just don't feel creative. Like we're gonna do this today instead. If I actually keep through on my promise to stream the next day, which always seems to be up in the air. But streaming D&D has been it's been amazing.
Yeah, it seems like you guys really have a blast. I'm doing it, and that's usually Tuesdays, right?
Tuesdays at somewhere around 6:30. Like we quote unquote start at 6:30, but we don't actually get around to playing till probably closer to 7.
I hear you. I gotcha. What would you say was a pivotal moment? Actually, this question comes from Tairn, and Tairn asks, "What was a pivotal moment in your streaming career?"
Sorry. A pivotal moment. Let's see. Pivotal moment for me is probably when I came back. When I came back to streaming, a pivotal moment for me was realizing that, well, it's important to care about, you know, the number side of Twitch and all that kind of stuff. But frankly, the pivotal moment was realizing that none of that actually matters. Like, it matters, but it doesn't matter, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're streaming, you just have to be in the stream. Worry about the rest of that stuff after stream, and then figure out what you can improve upon to increase those numbers. But when you're streaming, don't worry about that shit. And that's like figuring that out. Like being told that is one thing, but actually figuring it out for yourself, like, the numbers don't matter. If I'm streaming to a goose egg, then I'm streaming to a goose egg. Somebody might watch the VOD.
Right.
So figuring that out for myself was probably the biggest aha moment of streaming for me.
No, I get.
And
I can relate to that, and that's something I know you and I have talked about. I know. I don't think she can hear us, but that's something Raven. Oh no, she can hear us. Um, that that's something Raven and I were just. I was just talking to her about last night. Um, because I literally I went to break and I was in the other room just getting something to drink and having a snack, and I looked down at my phone like, oh wow, I got 5 viewers. That's good. So I rush back in here. I sit down. I look back at my phone. I go from like two or three. I go from like 5 viewers to like two or three. I'm like, okay. The shit on my shelf there had more views than me. That does great for my already low self esteem. But I mean, I think as long as you're having, and this is something my old community people in there would talk about. Like as long as you're having fun, that's really all that matters. But that is something that I'm learning to get over is that you're not always gonna have the numbers, unfortunately, and it doesn't matter whether you stream from a laptop, a PS4, or your cell phone or a PC. Like you're not always gonna have the numbers, and it takes time to I should heed my own words here. It takes time to build a community.
exactly.
And that's something
And
that I
like
struggle with immensely.
like I try very hard to not look at the numbers when I'm streaming. I mean, everybody has a temptation to peek, but like I turn off the viewer count on my OBS and whatnot because I'm just like, the numbers are going to do one of two things. They're either going to depress you or they're going to make you nervous. There's
Mhm.
really not an in between. Because if you have nobody there, then you're depressed. And you're like, why am I streaming? If there's like 15, 20 people there, now you're feeling like you're actually having to perform more than you would. And it's going to make you like freak out a little bit. And you're just like, now I'm making mistakes. Now I'm stepping over my own words. And I'm freaking out. So just not having a number and just doing you is honestly the best thing that you can do. And it's a lot harder to put into practice than it is to say.
I just want to comment. Raven, Sliced Raven, that is, said that she can't look at the numbers; it will make her too nervous, and performance anxiety is real. And
It really is. It is
and
so real.
I tried to say agree, but I don't know what that word is. I typed.
Agreed.
Agreed. I agreed.
Agreed.
I agreed. And I mean, it's what's weird is I did college. I did college and radio. I did radio in college, and it wasn't like a small like radio station. Like it was a big radio station. They went out to as far south as parts of it went out to like parts of parts of Delaware, parts of Philadelphia, almost all of South Jersey. It was a big radio station, and I remember doing radio shows thinking like, wow, there's countless, how many people are listening to me right now. But at the same time, you don't even think about it. I don't know, maybe if Twitch is different because people can see you, or if it's, obviously everybody's different. And I've had, God, back in the day, I think when I first started my first streaming tour, I have a decent amount of people in there for like Pokemon streams. Like
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon was like my claim to fame back then. Um, but I don't know. Obviously, everybody's different. I never felt the anxiety of having to perform. I always had the anxiety of not having people, excuse me, in my chat. Because I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing with me is I want to be able to have like a conversation with someone, whether it's like something stupid like how their day was, or if it's something, you know, philosophical or whatever. Like I just want to talk to people,
Yeah, and
especially
I can understand that.
especially now when I don't really have that many people to talk to.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like I totally understand that. Like when I'm like I think what was blah, 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 words. I think my successful streams are my D&D streams because I can't see how many people are in there. Like I can't even see how many people are talking in there because I can't see chat. I can't see the numbers. I can't see OBS at all. All I have are the people who are in my ear talking to each other
Mm-hmm.
and talk to me. Because like I do better streams and better content when I have somebody to verbally talk to and I can verbally talk back. Um, like those have always been my most popular streams because I'm one of those people that I make side comments of what people say. That's where my comedy comes in.
Mm-hmm.
So when I have nobody to get content from to make jokes about or jokes with, I don't have any content.
No, that's a good point. And I mean, I think with your D&D streams is like you were saying, there's more people to work off of. So it's not just you playing D&D by yourself, which I don't know a lot
Which
about.
we call that writing a book.
Right. Uh, um, but your art streams, it's essentially just you.
It's just me.
So you either have people to talk to in chat, or you're there talking to yourself, and you have to be, yeah. You have to be able to. I think if you're not gonna you know have other people there, you have to be able to talk to yourself. Which you would think I'm pretty good at talking.
Mm-hmm.
But for whatever reason, I don't know. It's just like I think Twitch is different for me, and I probably shouldn't say this, but I don't fucking care.
But you gonna
But I'm
anyway.
gonna anyway.
Click on it.
Like I'm not gonna sit in a room and talk to myself like on the computer. I can
It's difficult.
yeah, I can go in bed and do that.
Like, it's really difficult to hold a conversation or a monologue with yourself if nobody's in chat or nobody's in Discord in your ear filling the other side of the conversation. Like, it's really difficult to just continuously talk about what you're doing without, you know, no offense to anybody other than mansplaining what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's hard. It's really hard. Like, streaming is not easy. It takes a lot of, self assurance and self confidence, which is why a lot of people burn out real fast.
Yeah. And I think the other thing is, and I don't know how your bigger streamers do it, because I had a hard enough time when I did this with Enviro 2 weeks ago. And this is I think this is really hard because not only are you am I having a conversation with you, but at the same time, yet I have to have a conversation with Raven, with Nightbot, and anybody else that pops up in chat, and that's not always easy to hold two conversations and give everybody the right amount of attention. And Reassure, welcome in Reassure. I'm glad you're here. Oh, you know what we didn't do? God, I'm terrible.
What didn't we do?
I didn't do this. I didn't do this.
But also, it's also difficult to have a conversation with a moving chat while you're playing like any type of game that requires a lot of your attention. So like if you're playing a shooter game or a game that has a time limit, or like Raven's been playing games that have a lot of quick time,
Mm-hmm.
and it's hard to read your chat and hit those quick times at the same time. So you got to ignore one or the other. And it comes down to a struggle of, do I ignore the people that are here to watch me, or do I ignore the game so that the people have something to watch? And don't get me wrong, Raven, you do an amazing job. Don't get me wrong, but it's that struggle.
Yeah. No, I
You
I, I,
gotta,
I agree. And that'll yeah, that's not. It is a struggle, and I've noticed uh, the game Raven's playing now. That happened a couple times, and she's like, "Damn it, I completely missed that." And it's a tough balance, and especially if you haven't played the game. If you haven't played the game before, you don't know what to expect. So you're out there, A, trying to please the masses, and B, trying to play the game. So
mm-hmm.
you're right. At some point, something's gonna give, and you have to, figure out what's more important: a video game that I can play again and do something different with, or something that somebody said in chat that could be somewhat relevant.
And then some people have tuned in for the game, and some people have purely tuned in for the streamer. So it's a difficult balance.
Yeah.
It's not just a two-way scale. It's like a multi-scale. Like, how do I balance all these things? Which is why I do art streams, because at any point in time, I can just stop what I'm doing and just stare at chat for a while. Or I can ignore chat and do what I'm doing, but there's no consequence for me stopping.
Right.
Like, if I stop drawing a line, the line just stops. The line doesn't wander off on its own.
And I've noticed I think I have a friend that streams. He doesn't stream that much anymore. But he was playing Tetris for the longest time, and that's a game where you really can't be looking, especially on the level he plays. He plays at level like 18.
Those blocks are coming, whether you're playing it or not. They're still coming.
So he can't really, go back and forth, back and forth. It's okay. I'm gonna focus on the match here, and then go back to chat when I'm done. And he's a smaller streamer, so he's not bringing in 50, 60 people to watch him play Tetris. But at the same time, and he knows like, oh, okay, someone said this during that match. Oh, they must have been referring to this thing I did 20 minutes ago in the beginning of the match.
Yeah, and
And
like that's another difficult thing is that if chat's moving fast, what was relevant like 30 seconds ago is way up in chat. Now you got the second half of the conversation, and you're like, what's going on? Where do I even begin with this conversation? Do I have time to find the start of this
mm-hmm.
conversation? Just like, oh guys, I'm so sorry. I have no idea what's going on. And because you're streaming and you're focusing on multiple things at once, you're just like, okay, what is this? Where is this? I'm playing this game. I'm solely focused on this. I forgot about chat for a minute, and
But I
wow, what? Who did this? When? And it could have been something you did 5 seconds ago, and you've completely forgotten that that's happened in the game.
But I've seen like Raven's really good with it. Like, hey, I'm gonna catch up with chat for a second, and
Mm-hmm.
pause the game, and you know, I don't know what her layout's like, but essentially scroll up to be like, oh, Ryoko said this, and then Tairn said that, and oh, okay, cool. And I've seen Tiny do it, and I think that's what separates your really good streamers from your average streamers is they know your good streamers know when to stop and take a breather, catch up with chat, so they don't feel left out. I got you, Raven. Mm-hmm.
It's become part of a process.
Right.
Play a little, talk a little. Play a little, talk a little. Cheap, cheap, cheap. Sorry.
Yeah, because you hate because you feel bad, and that's the thing I ran into with the Enviro dinner is we're and the same thing can happen here if we're going, we're deep into a conversation, and like Ryushura or Raven say something, I can't just be like, oh, hang on, Tairn, Raven said something really on point. um by the time you get back to it, it's 5 minutes later, and it's all the way at the top of the page.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I said, it's kind of tough to balance both, and I think it takes practice.
It definitely takes practice. And another important thing to keep in mind when you're streaming is that when you start streaming and all that kind of stuff, or when you come back to streaming and whatnot, you're not going to be good at it. It's going to take time to become good at it. That's something I have to keep telling myself. It's like, it's okay if you kind of suck at this. It's a skill, you know? It's something that you work on one stream at a time. Like, okay, well, I didn't do this, so I gotta work on doing this more, or I need to interact with chat more.
Mm-hmm.
It's and then over time it becomes second nature. It's just giving yourself that leadway to actually let it become, a skill or a talent that you can fall back on. Learning things is hard.
Yeah.
And it sucks when you're older because you're like, why can't I do it already? You gotta remember to be forgiving of yourself.
Yeah, that's tough to do, and it's because I think most people are like myself. We're hard on ourselves. Oh God, yeah, y'all should see my first year streams. I hardly talked. I've
I just
gotten
remembered.
I've gotten yelled
I
at for that before, not
I
not talking.
I just remembered what my first stream was.
Oh, what was it?
It was Ruby Eclipse or Ruby something. It was one of the Ruby games, and I didn't know when I started streaming it that there was no pause function. There was no pause function, so when I would go into the menu screen, everything continued to attack me, so I couldn't pause to read chat. I remember that. Because I got raided by Red Sonja, and I was trying to thank her, and I died in the process because I didn't know I couldn't pause it. I had to wait till I killed all the waves of enemies and then thank people for coming in. And I've never streamed it since.
Yeah, I can't even. Whatever my first game had to be, it had to be something on my emulator because I didn't have Steam yet. It had to be like Pokemon Red. That's either that or because I used to be. I shouldn't say this because it was kind of sneaky. So I would leave my old friend's stream. Her and her girlfriend would stream, and I'd leave there like maybe like 30 minutes before their stream ended. And
Mhm.
because you don't, I want to hang out in there. I want to talk and whatever. And then I would leave 20, 30 minutes before they ended, start the stream, and hope that either A, they would raid me, or B, that they would come in and hang out. And they were I didn't even have alerts then, I don't think. But they were the first people to raid me. And then they always came in, if they didn't raid, they always came in after they
Aw.
finished. Yeah. Um, but yeah, I think it had to be Pokemon Red or something similar on on my emulator. It had because I don't back then I wasn't streaming a whole lot of stuff because there's not a whole lot of stuff you can stream on a MacBook.
Yeah, MacBooks definitely make things difficult when it comes to streaming, as we've learned.
Yes, yes, we are very very limited in what we can do. Um, yeah, and Reassure is probably the only one from my past that is still around. But yeah, so yeah, Reassure would know that was it was a lot of Pokemon Red back then, which that's Pokemon's fun. I've definitely started to branch out a lot with games like oh, brain fart.
Like Home Alone.
Yeah, like Home Alone.
That game is so dumb. I'm sorry. It's so
So it
dumb.
is. It's so bad. And I told this story before. I'll tell it again. So Home Alone for the Nintendo Entertainment System is literally you playing as Macaulay Culkin running around a house
Kevin.
for 20 minutes, picking up little boxes and putting them back down to essentially, slow down Marv and Harry. And it's that for 20 minutes. Not
It's
not
so
20, yeah, it's so and it's not 20 in-game minutes. It's like it's physically 20 minutes and it's just so bad. Home Alone. I see. I never played Home Improvement on the. I never had a Super Nintendo, so I cannot. I cannot comment on Home Improvement. I have seen it played, and it looks pretty dumb and bad. But Home Alone on the NES is one of the worst games. That insult to injury, I was really excited when I saw it at the store, 25 years ago or whenever the hell it was. I begged my mom to get it for me, and I guess it was gonna be a Christmas gift, and then I begged her to let me play it early, and I did, and it was so disappointing. I think that's probably
So
one of
what you're saying is 90s movies should not be video games.
most movies should not be video games. 80s movies should also not be video games because Ghostbusters 1 and 2 are fucking awful video games. And I love Ghostbusters 2 was the first Nintendo game I ever got. And it's just I'll have to play that on stream one night, but
But
it's
they're
so
so
bad.
good. Like the Ninja Turtles game that was impossible to complete because the jump was too far away. They're amazing.
Well, the second and third Turtles games were really good. The second Ninja Turtles game is probably one of my favorite video games. It's definitely the top 10 of my favorite video games. I played the hell out of that game as a kid, and then I got a Game Genie, and I could finally beat it. Um,
When you gotta cheat to make the game playable. Mm.
no, no, no. I was just I'm terrible at video games. Well,
No, like the Ninja Turtles game was literally impossible to beat because they
mhm.
moved the jump 4 pixels too far to the right to be completed. No matter what kind of jump you chose, it was impossible to actually make.
I could never get past the first stage. TMNT Tournament Fighters was so good. See, that's a Super Nintendo game. Never got to play. I played a Super Nintendo. The kid that lived um, around the corner from me had one, so I go over his house and we play. But I think it was WrestleMania. We used to play WrestleMania all the time. Okay. I don't think we did this one. What defines you as a streamer?
Oh, it defines me as a streamer. Um, hmm. What defines me as a streamer? Other than the fact that I stream? Um, I don't know. I think I'm still looking for it. Like, right now I turn on OBS and chatbot and I hit live, and at the moment that's kind of all that I really do. I haven't really found my this is me kind of thing yet. I'm still kind of searching for that. So I don't think I really have a definition as a streamer. I just know that I definitely want to have a place where people can gather and have fun with each other and have fun in the stream, but I don't have like a this is me kind of niche yet.
No, I understand that because I can relate to that. I kind of don't have. I'm still, I guess, trying to figure out who and what I am as a streamer, you know, as well. So I'm okay with that answer. That's a good answer. Good answer.
Because anybody who saw my streams from like last year and the streams this year can contest that they're all over the place. Like, there's no one genre that I'm in. There's no one style that I do. It's all over the place. Trying to find that one thing that goes, you know what, this works.
But I don't think there's anything wrong with as long as it's somewhat organized. Organized chaos is, I think, okay. Like if one day you do D&D, the next day you're playing, Home Alone, and then the day after that you're doing an art stream, and
I will never play Home Alone. Fuck that game. But I understand what you're saying.
yeah, I don't like. I think it doesn't have to be like I'm I'm Tairn and I'm only going to stream D&D and retro games. Like, it could be. I think is you can be all over the board as up and down as you want, as long as it's, I guess, somewhat organized, if that's the word. Um, Home Alone next sub goal. Oh my god, that should be a channel redemption. You know what?
It should be a channel punishment.
Channel punishment. Make that a channel
It's
redemption.
so bad. I watched you play it. It is so bad.
Oh god.
It's like, oh my god.
There's speed runs of that game too. Somebody took the
How do
time.
you speed run a game that literally has a time limit?
So
You win by playing it for 20 minutes. How do you speedrun a game that's set to win once you hit 20 minutes? I don't understand.
there is a glitch in the game where you trap the both of them on like the left side of the screen, and then you just go back and forth like this, and then they go back and forth as well, and that's all that you do that for 20 fucking minutes. And
That's not a speed run. It's still 20 fucking minutes.
yeah.
That's an exploit.
It's on speedrun.com. Look it up. There's
Oh
I think the
man.
record's like 19 minutes and like 59 seconds or something fucking stupid like that. Yeah, it is. It's 20 minutes of your life you can't get back because after you play it, you don't want to be alive anymore.
Oh
I've
man.
never beaten that game. Maybe that should be my New Year's resolution next year is to beat Home Alone and then never play
And
another.
then
Then never.
burn it.
Then burn it. Never play another video game ever again because after you beat Home Alone for the Nintendo Entertainment System,
You gotta play it on New Year's Eve, and then you have to beat it by midnight. So at midnight, you can set it up with a firecracker and just blow it up.
I'm pretty sure somewhere in my parents' basement, I still have the box for that game too. I'm pretty sure that I have. There's very few boxes to games I think I saved over the years. I know
Mm.
that might be one of them. I think it's that. I want to say Captain Skyhawk, Ghostbusters 2, obviously, and NES Open. Those four come to mind. I could be wrong. They could have. My parents could have thrown the fuck out for all I know. That wouldn't surprise me either. I mean, they're
I mean, would you
those.
really be sad if they threw away Home Alone?
No, probably not. I probably would. I probably would thank them. I mean, the
If
game
I,
lives. The game lives forever on the internet. So there's no escaping that game.
it's probably worth like a stupid ton of money because it's so bad.
I still have the actual cartridge. I don't know. Again, don't know where, but that actual cartridge is it's somewhere. Maybe if I'm ever able to go back home, um, and I was just talking to someone today. I was like, hey, like, what do you think about the chance of me being able to come home in June? And she was like, well, maybe June 2021. I was like, fuck. But that's another topic for another time. But yeah, Home Alone on the Nintendo Entertainment System. If you own it, burn it because it's
This
trash.
is this is what on NES.
Yeah. It was also on Game Boy, and it might have been. I don't think it was on Super Nintendo. I know the second one was on. I think the second one was on both of them. Was on Super Nintendo and Nintendo. I used to have the second one for Game Boy, and that game is also terrible.
Never
And
mind, it's like $8 on eBay.
it's not. It costs more to destroy it than it does to fucking
It costs you more
sell
to
it.
ship it than to buy
Yeah.
it.
God damn it. Game is so
Well,
bad.
tried.
I okay. I have a another viewer question.
Okay.
This one comes from Tairn.
Wow, this Tairn person seems
Yeah,
obnoxious.
they have a lot to say. Damn it! And Taryn asks, "What's something you would love to stream, but never had the chance to, or didn't think it would fit your image?"
um,
Was it Home Alone?
I don't want to ever stream that game ever. uh, well, for me, I don't really have an image, so anything and everything will fit in within my image because it's a collage of chaos. But something that I haven't had a chance to stream that I'd like to is I want to do more physical art. Like I'm looking into buying D&D miniatures and painting them on stream, or maybe I would love to have an outdoor camera setup so I could do spray paint art,
Mm-hmm.
which is a thing that I do on the side sometimes, but I don't have the setup for that. I don't know how to do an outdoor setup. But that would be amazing to do that. But yeah, I'd probably like streaming painting miniatures, which I'm actually looking into getting and doing in the future. Um, what else do I want to stream that I've never streamed for? A speed run to Portal 2,
Ooh.
but the speed run calculator for Portal 2 is broken, and the only fix has a Trojan virus in it. So
Oh, that's great.
that happened. But I did try doing that once, but speed running is not really a thing that I do much. But if I had the proper setup and the calculator didn't have a virus in it, I would give it a shot.
Yeah, that'd be a fun game to watch. I mean, I think any speed run of any game is awesome. I love seeing people absolutely just essentially destroy a video game. With that, I watched a while ago. I found a speed run. It was I think it was one of the Pokemon. I want to say it was Red and Blue, but it was a reverse badge speed run.
A reverse speed run.
Yeah, it was a reverse badge speed run. So you start in, you just get the first badge in Viridian City, and work your way backwards to what is it, Vermilion City? No, not Vermilion. Pewter City, Brock.
That seems excessively difficult considering
It is, and I think you
you start off with, like,
essentially.
a level 1 Pokemon going up against like level 50s. I'm like, how does that even work?
I don't remember, but I know it has something to do. Well, essentially, you break the game, but you essentially have to expose, like, I guess, certain things in the game, because don't forget, there's only, I mean, you need like surf and whatnot to get to certain parts, and cut and other things that you get. So I'll have to find the video on YouTube and send it to you. Um, but that was pretty cool. And as far as Adventures of Mary Kate and Ashley, yeah, that's another game I don't think I could. I don't think I
Barbie's
could.
Horse Adventure.
Barbie's Force Adventure. God,
Play a Barbie game.
I think I'd rather play Home Alone. I tell you what is that channel redemption point for? Oh God, it's only 790 points. Jesus Christ, I gotta up that some. I was gonna do that too. I mean, if someone ever redeems that, then yeah, I will.
I mean, I've only got 16,000 channel points.
God, you could redeem like almost.
Almost all of the really crappy games.
God damn it! I shouldn't have said anything. Shit.
I'm gonna do some internet research now.
Find the worst fucking Nintendo and Game Boy games there are.
Are you limited to NES, or is there SNES games?
I don't have an SNES emulator. I just have the Game Boy and Nintendo emulator. I don't have a whole lot of Game Boy games on here. I can tell you. I guess we can take a detour and go down this rabbit hole real quick and tell you what crappy games I have on here. So I have Alien 3. That game is garbage. I have City Connection. That game's pretty bad, but it's one of my favorite Nintendo games, as bad as it is. Days of Thunder is absolute garbage. Friday the 13th, a lot of people say is bad, but I think it's just because people don't know how to really play it. Ghostbusters 2 is trash. Heavy Shredding is absolute trash. Home Alone's Home Alone. Jurassic Park is pretty terrible. This game's not so bad.
Home Alone should be left alone.
Yeah. That game's good. That's my resume. I don't know why that's in this folder. Neighbor on Elm Street's pretty terrible. Paperboy is very overrated. Paperboy is not a good game. Super Pitfall is absolute trash. I will not play Super Pitfall.
So you're saying I should redeem Super Pitfall?
I don't have it. I would have to download it. I have this other game that's 4 games in one. I still have this box at home too. The actual box it came in, Kotaro Adventure, and that box might actually be in pretty good shape if I can find it. This game might actually be worth money. Yeah, Kotaro Adventure is pretty terrible. Kotaro Sports, I'm assuming, is even worse. No,
I want to see you play a Super Nintendo game. I want to watch you play the Jurassic Park one.
No, wasn't the Jurassic one? The first one. I'm about to say, because Jurassic Park on Sega was actually pretty good, I thought. Tag team wrestling is pretty bad.
It's not necessarily a bad game. It's just a game that I bought for like my 7th birthday or whatever, and the T-Rex chased me out of this one place that scared me so bad that I threw the game.
Oh, jeez. The last 2 bad games I have on here, Wrath of the Black Manta, which is bad, and Tetris 2, which Tetris 2 is, oh my god. Like, why, like, they made, I don't, you know what, no, I'm not getting on that soapbox. Like Tetris was perfect the way it was. That's I don't know. I don't know. I have nothing to compare that to. It's just don't fucking make a sequel to a fucking puzzle game. Reassure, what's number one on that list? Oh my god, are we being rated?
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for that raid. I don't know. I changed it. It's just yeah. I finally changed that for you.
You changed it now. The one time I typed it all out, you changed it.
I don't know why the alert didn't go off. I apologize. For that.
Oh, it's a boba tea. I'm like, what is in that bird's mouth?
But welcome in Raiders. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. I'm Ryoko, and I guess you could call me a variety streamer. I play a variety and do a variety of stuff. Tonight I'm having dinner. Tonight is dinner with Ryoko, where once every couple weeks I interview people in the LGBT community. Tonight I am having dinner with Tairn13. You can do
Hello.
!dinner in chat, and that'll tell you everything we're doing tonight. When I'm not doing dinner with Ryoko, I'm usually streaming either Pokemon or random games on Steam until I can get my PC. Right now, we're discussing really awful Nintendo games like Home Alone.
Worst game ever.
It's pretty bad.
It's so bad.
So you said Jurassic Park for Super Nintendo?
Yeah, I mean it's not a bad game. It's just a game that I never got to see the ending to because it freaked me out as a child.
Oh, is it just like the? Did you say it's just like the one for Nintendo?
I think it's on Super Nintendo. Jurassic.
I thought that game. I could be wrong. I know Jurassic Park because I had it on Game Boy originally, and it's I know the one on Game Boy is the same as the one that's on Nintendo. I thought that one was also the same as the one on Super Nintendo. The one on Sega.
Maybe it is on the Nintendo.
Well, that I have, and I will reluctantly. Oh God, that game is bad.
Do it.
Ugh. What bad? I don't think I had that many bad Game Boy games, though. Let me see. I don't think because Game Boy. Here we go. No, I don't. I only have good games on here, like Super Mario Land 2.
Google search.
Yeah, you guys make a small list of shitty Nintendo and Game Boy games you want, and I'll do that tomorrow. Maybe we'll even stream that tomorrow night. But someone has to redeem it. I'm not doing it unless you guys redeem it.
I'll find something terrible in the game.
Oh God, I mean, I can tell you the games I just rattled off are pretty bad. But
I'm gonna find you some Japanese game that has no English subtitles and make you figure it out.
I don't know if I can. So who is it? Noro. I'm really bad with games. I think everybody should just be named. What is it?
Noru.
Noru. Okay, that's not that hard to say. I just can't spell or speak. Thank you again, Noru, for that raid. And hello, Modern and Foxtrot. And who else came in on that raid? Let's see. That's it. And of course, Nightbot's still here. And Ryushura. Oh, and is it Raj? I'm gonna be really proud of myself. What is it?
Raiji.
Raji. I was really proud. I thought I got that right. God damn it.
Pretty much everybody who just came in is from the D&D group.
Oh, cool. We were just talking about D&D earlier in the interview. And I guess this is probably, I think this is a good segue. I don't know why I didn't ask this. This question is above it. No, I won't do Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I do. There is a line. There is there is a line because that game's not playable. Do you have a favorite moment in your streaming career,
Favorite moment in my streaming career?
or maybe just on Twitch in general?
Well, I definitely have a lot of clippable moments and whatnot. It's hard to pick a favorite one. Probably the one that was the biggest surprise to me was when somebody anonymously donated a large chunk of change my way. I'm like, why? That's probably one of the most memorable ones. Is the absolute kindness of random people on the internet.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, probably definitely most memorable moment was that.
Yeah, that's something that's always kind of surprised me. Is just essentially people you don't know just being like, "Oh, hey, here's money."
It's
But
like, I don't buy my art programs now.
Reassure asked, "I would like to know what made Tairn start streaming, and when things got hard, what made you want to keep going?" Um, yeah, I know we talked about that earlier. Um,
I don't mind repeating
okay,
it.
yeah, go ahead.
So I started streaming basically because all the new friends that I had made, were streaming. And I was like, I want to join the cool kids. I want to be one of the cool kids. I want to make my own internet friends and have my own community and do all the things. And then, um, for a while there, when things got difficult or hard, I ended up taking an extended break from streaming. I got too far in my head, too far into the numbers, and too far into the I'm not good enough because I don't have these numbers and whatnot. And then I started to start streaming again and give it another chance because I met some wonderful people that decided that they would agree to go along with my shenanigans in my D&D group and whatnot. And I'm like, a lot of cool things happen when we play D&D. We should stream this so we can keep those moments for as long as the internet survives. And it became less about making money or getting numbers or having followers, and it came more about just having fun with my friends and letting the world see us have fun, and hopefully letting them have fun with us. So when it got tough, you could basically just put your fingers in your air and be like, "Fuck this! I'm gonna do what I want and just have fun doing it." Because if you think too hard into Twitch and streaming as a business, you're gonna fail.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah,
basically, my
no,
friends
that's a
and
good
getting
point.
to know some really good people is what kept me going when things got super hard.
What I want to do now is I want to take a break. I got to get up and stretch my legs, get a refill of beverage and pizza. Um,
Pizza, pizza.
I'm gonna put this screen up, and I'm gonna put that thing there, and yeah, we will be back in just a few minutes. All right, so everybody get up, stretch your legs, get something to drink, get something to eat, and I'll see everybody back here in a few minutes. I'm going to play some more music. The music, by the way, also made by Tairn.
By Tairn.
By Tairn. Alrighty, everybody. I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Oopsies. Lopsided?
Merp.
Sounds okay to me.
Ray Parker Jr. Here we go with Ghostbusters.
Oh my god, this song. This is not by me, by the way. That's the fact. This is like a great version.
If there's something strange sleeping in your bed,
Alright, here I come.
let me tell you something. If there's something weird sleeping in your bed, oh, let me tell you something. Bustin' makes me feel good.
Just want to clear that up.
If you're seeing things sleeping in your bed,
No, this is a really good version. I'm gonna turn it down just a tad, though. Yes, I know. I did not mute my mic.
Now they can both hear us.
Yes. I don't know how I found this version of this song, but I found it and I fell in love with it. Okay. Yeah, Tairn did the song before this for Yushura. She did not do this version. Ooh, excuse me. That was a hiccup. Hello, Telly. Thank you so much for that follow.
Kelly. I guess we can probably flip the screen back
Oh,
on.
yeah. There we go. Oh, that's the wrong screen. That's the wrong screen. That's also the wrong screen. Maybe I should go with the one that says Dinner with Ryoko layout. God.
Now you're a real streamer.
God damn it.
Kelly is also one of my players.
Well, welcome in, Telly. Thank you so much. I really appreciate
Do you mind
that.
if I throw a link up in chat?
Oh, no, absolutely. I do not mind.
So, if you like the music that you're hearing, that is my YouTube. All of my music can be found there.
Yes, absolutely. Give
That's
Tairn a
a link to
follow
the playlist.
on her YouTube. Just trying to fix my hair. I'm sorry. This is one of my favorite wigs, by the way.
Wonderful, darling. It's fine.
Let's talk about you and music. What got music? Music. Excuse me, music. What got you into the musics?
Well, you see, long time ago, when little child, I have dreamed to be a musician. No, when I actually started playing around with digital music when I was probably about 10, I want to say. I started with MTV Music Generator for the PC.
Oh, cool.
Way back in the 90s. I would put little loops of music together then, and when I got older, or a little bit older, I had I think it was a PS2 game called Club World that operated more or less the same way, but there wasn't a way to get the music off of my PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
And then I eventually found Music Maker, which had the same kind of layout, and that I was able to actually export onto the internet and whatnot. And I don't know, I've always been interested in arranging music, but I was never like a mixer or like a DJ to mix things together. But I've always had a passion for mixing music together and whatnot. I've played several instruments throughout the years, but being able to just arrange things. I don't know, I find it fun. It's also extremely frustrating and time consuming.
Oh, I bet.
Like the one that you played before you went live, and the one that you played at the break, that song is a 12-minute song, and it took probably 7 hours to compile.
Oh my god.
It takes a long time. So it's listening to the thing, seeing, does this need to add something to it? Does it need, is this too much? How do I bring down these levels and raise this level? And these two don't mix, they're the wrong key, and it's a process, and then you have to be feeling creative during that process.
Mhm.
Like, the only reason that track is 11 or 12 minutes long is because I couldn't figure out how to end it. And it just kept going. I'm like, well, this still sounds good. I don't know how to cut it off. We're just going to keep going, and then it's super long because of that. So there's also shorter tracks, there's less involved tracks, there's all kinds of things, but I would say that one, the Heroes Never Quit, I believe is what I named it,
Yeah.
is probably the one I'm most proud of, and that one actually stemmed from a challenge, because I couldn't figure out what I wanted to make, and I went around and I asked all of my friends to give me one word, and I would build a track around that word, and that track actually came from Noru, the one who rated us. And I said, "Give me one word to build a song off of," and he said, "Hope." And I was like, "Okay, I'm going to build a track around the theme of hope." And you have this epic musical ballad of the rise and fall of a hero who rises again. And if you listen to that track again with that in mind, you can hear how the hero starts, the hero falls, and then at the end, the hero rises again with the soft piano to continue going. The challenges that I've done since then or before then are a little wheelie, wobbly, timey-wimey stuff, but I've tried. That's definitely my proudest accomplishment for my music so far. Been chasing that dream ever since.
Now, is that, I guess, you haven't done that stuff on stream? Is that something you would consider doing on stream?
I would love to stream making music like that, but unfortunately, the program that I use mutes all audio on my PC. So I could stream it, but you wouldn't hear anything, and you wouldn't hear me talking. You would just see me moving things around with no audio, and that would drive me personally insane to watch a silent stream.
Yeah, that'd be kind of especially if it's like, I'm making music, you can hear nothing.
I'm making music. Listen to it.
Oh wait.
So like, it wouldn't be any fun to watch or experience. If I used a different program, I could probably stream me creating music, but I'm not familiar with those programs. So, maybe one day.
What is something that who or what inspires you to stream?
Originally, when I started streaming, I was definitely inspired by Tiny and Red Sonja and Nico. At the time, they were Here's the D. Now they're Here's Johnny. Meg plays badly, which at the time she was Girl plays badly. They've had a lot of people have had a lot of rebrands over the years, but just seeing them put themselves out there and build this community and, you know, have fun doing it for the most part. Oh, and Raven. Sorry, I didn't mean to forget these. A lot of names. Like, watching them all have, like, this... Within their communities, they have a sub-community of just, like, these friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's something that I aspire to have myself or be a part of. To just have this ring of people that, you know, they were all friends and pretty decently good friends, and I don't know, I wanted to be part of the in crowd, so it's like, well, let me try. And even if my streaming career, quote unquote, I use that term loosely, didn't like take off, I did manage to integrate myself into a lot of these communities of being, you know, a strong background supporter of all of these people. And so it was nice. It definitely got me more involved in Twitch in one way or another.
Kind of on the same topic here. Reassure asks, has anyone ever told you that you're the reason they got into streaming or came back to streaming? I guess, and he said not counting Ryoko.
Not counting Ryoko. Well, Ryoko was already, you were already streaming. I helped tweak your streaming experience a little bit. I don't think anybody's really ever considered me a reason to start streaming that I know of. I know that there's been some people that I've definitely helped spruce up their streaming experience. Like I helped you with some of your layouts and stuff. I've helped Noru out with his layouts and, you know, how to manage his page, whatnot, so that it's more inviting to look at. Because if it's not inviting to look at, inviting to see, or inviting to experience, a lot of people are just going to immediately click off. Despite your personality, despite what you're playing, if it's not visually appealing or audioly pleasing to the ears, a lot of people will just immediately just go, nope, I'll find somebody else doing the same thing. In the early days, I helped Tiny build her page, but I've been more of a supporter, not so much a leader in streaming.
Yeah, I mean, you've definitely. I mean, I can go. I mean, the emotes. You know, this one and this one. You know, well, I can form sentences and I can think. You know, Tairn's made. You see the little Washu and Ryoko with the red eyes down there. They're going to be emotes. Hopefully, eventually, if we reach that part. But the layout here.
Eventually, you'll add in your sub badges.
Yep, the sub badges. I'm going to do that when I wake up tomorrow. Completely. Like I saved them all. Like I have it, everything saved. I just fucking forgot to do it. But not just that. Like it really, essentially, Tairn really got this stream back on its feet. Like I wouldn't be doing. Excuse me. I wouldn't have made it this far without her. So I know you said, you know, not including me, but I would say, yeah, Tairn's a big reason why I continue to stream. I probably wouldn't have had the wherewithal or the patience to deal with it if I didn't have the look that I have now, because I don't have anybody anymore that is artistic or smart enough to do this. So yeah, that's all I'll say. You know, I've praised you, I think, at least once a week, if not more. So this is your one for the week.
Oh, I appreciate it. Like, I know that as compared to other people's layouts and setups and emotes and all that kind of stuff, that mine is not like the stuff that I do isn't like mind blowing, but it's a good first step.
But it doesn't need to be anything mind blowing. let's say we'll come over here real quick. So, hi everybody, this is me down in the corner now, and then that big box up there would be for the game, and then eventually up here will be chat. Like Tairn made all this with the exception of the little car down there on the end. That's from City Connection, but everything else on this page is her.
Well, I didn't make the Ryoko popping out of the chat, but I did cut it.
Right, but you still essentially designed all this. I could never do all that. A, I'm not creative enough, and B, I don't have the patience, to sit there and be like, oh, I gotta snip, snip, cut, cut, dirt, dirt, dirt. And
Oh, not a 2. Oh, God. There we go. Got it.
less than
Alright.
2,
Less than 2, but more than
but more than 3.
more. Yes. Thank you, Telly. But like, yeah, I don't think that the stuff that I do is outstanding, but I definitely think that the things that I do, and I usually do them for most of my friends, because like, hey, I see that you're struggling with this thing or with your visual layout. Here's some things that might spruce it up to make it more fun for people to look at or interact with. Or I see you don't have any emotes. Here's some emotes so that if people sub or whatever, they have that little reward for it that they can spread your name across the interwebs with. It just, I don't know, it makes it more user friendly.
And I think that's why you are and maybe inspiration isn't the right. Well, I'll use inspiration because that's a compliment. But you are the reason people stream, because if I didn't have you in my corner, I probably wouldn't have gone as hard for emotes, because you and I had talked about emotes, before I got affiliate. But if I didn't have Tairn, who am I going to go to emotes for? I don't know anyone that does that. I sure as hell can't. It's right there.
And
I can't do that.
I mean, sometimes emotes can get expensive too.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like, I'm a baller on a budget. I love to spend money and throw money at people. But like, that's like, I know my old roommate is an artist, and like, so I know, I'm very well aware that stuff isn't cheap, and that stuff is time consuming. And I think that's why it means so much to someone when someone's like, hey, look at this layout I made for you, let me know what you think. And obviously something like this doesn't take 2 minutes to throw together. It's time consuming, regardless how what someone says. They're still taking time. You're still taking time out of your day when you could be doing anything else, but you're like helping someone else. And I think that is an inspiration and a reason people either get back into streaming or continue to stream. And that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah. It's something that I do for people that I know, and I'm like, I can do this thing and I can help you. And like, I don't ever expect any payments or anything like that. Just like, if I can help you better your stream, then I'm all for it. But if like somebody random that I don't know is like, hey, can you make this for me? But like, I don't know you, so I'm going to ask you for money because who are you? But like my friends and stuff, I do what I can to help them out in any endeavors that I see. Or if I see something that's going on in their channel, I'll be like, hey, consider this. Maybe it'll help, maybe it won't, but it's something that I notice that maybe it could be improved upon, and it might improve the experience of everybody who tunes into your channel. I'm definitely a background worker when it comes to my side of, I guess, inspiring people or encouraging people to do things.
And I think that's just as important as, say, someone like Raven or Tiny, who's on the in front of the camera. I think, yeah, someone that's behind the scenes, like you describe yourself there, that's just as important, because without that person behind the screen, guess what? There's nothing there. The layout's gone without someone behind the scenes to do all that cool stuff. So I think that's I think the behind the scenes people, the technical people, um, are just as important. And it's been, what's today? Monday the 11th, and
I
it's,
think so.
yeah. So it's probably been at least a week since I've said out loud that Tairn also got me in touch with someone to fix my audio on this stream. Um, the audio, oh, God,
It was rough.
it was rough.
It was rough.
And I think that was my biggest hurdle to overcome. And I think Tairn pointing me in the right direction, help it, and Tairn kind of had a couple pointers as well, like, hey, try this or try that, or hey, this person, Grylock, knows all about Max and audio. Let's talk to him.
Right,
And
because if I don't know, I probably know somebody who does. Because I've worked really hard to integrate myself into multiple large communities. Just like, hey, does anybody know about this? DM me. And I'm like, okay, I found somebody. I need you to talk to this person about this issue, and y'all should be able to make this work.
yeah, and I think stuff like that, it's um that's how it's networking. It's all about networking. And
It's all about who you know. You know
it's
what
yeah
I'm saying?
it is. And it's, you get to know the right people, and you can reap the benefits of it. And I mean, I don't even think when you and I first started, like, talking, or the first time you helped me with something, we were even that close. I think I just knew you as someone from Tiny Stream.
Yeah, I was just a mod in Tiny
Yeah.
Stream. And I was like, Ryoko, like, as in the TV show Tenchi Muyo, and you're like, yes! And I'm like, holy shit, this person's gonna be awesome! Nobody knows what that show is! And then I started going to your streams, and I'm like, wow, there's a lot that needs to change for this if their goal is to continue this. And I'm like, hey, don't want to be rude, but do you need help?
And I think my response was, "Oh God, yes, please help me."
And then from there, I just pretty much was like, okay, well, this, and this needs to change, and this is how we're gonna do it. And you're just like, okay, cool, let's do that. And I'm like, all right, cool, no resistance, let's go. Yeah, I definitely had to outsource for your audio problem, because we spent like 4 hours on the internet searching for how to fix a Mac. I don't know anything about Macs, y'all. Like, I run a PC. I've always run a PC. And the fact that are you using slobs or just regular OBS?
I'm sorry. What did you call me? Did you call me a
Are
slob?
you using slobs or regular OBS?
Oh, I'm just using regular flavored OBS.
See, I don't use regular OBS either, so I'm like, I don't know if the settings are different. Let me find somebody who uses regular OBS and somebody who's a Mac. And I came across Greylark, who used both. I'm like, oh my god, please help.
Yeah, and it took us maybe an hour um, of messing with everything, and we got it. And I was on the brink of tears uh, when we got there, just because it's something I've struggled with since day one, and literally, and I won't show you guys because I don't I don't want to kill everybody's ears, but you had, and I know I've told this story on stream before, but I don't care. You'd have the game audio that let's just say I was playing Pokemon. You would hear it, but it was coming out of my laptop speakers into the microphone up here. So
Mhm.
that's what you were hearing. Well, and I'm sure it sounded like absolute ass.
It was rough
Yeah,
because
it was
we had you talking at the same level as your game audio, and there's no way that you could adjust that.
right. And Tairn got me hooked up with Grylark, and they Grylark saved the day.
And then I was looking at your setup, which you just had a plain background, and you just had your camera on the side, and you had your game on top of it. It was a little disorganized. I'm like,
Yeah, it was pretty
can I
bad.
make you a layout? You're like, please. I'm like, okay. So then I took the colors of your current layout at the time and incorporated those so that it
Oh,
was still the same.
I didn't even
Yeah,
realize that.
it's the same colors and the same color organization as your original layout. It's just cleaner.
Yeah, and I think when I initially got back into streaming, or was trying to get back into streaming, I had a picture from that I took in the Florida Keys like 6 years ago as my background. I'm like, okay, this kind of works. And then I was like, no. And then I just, I stumbled upon the gender neutral, no, I'm sorry, gender fluid flag, and I just made that my background once I got back into streaming. And then Tairn was like, nah, this isn't gonna do.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the layout that you have currently right now on your screen, it's the same colors, just as stars.
Yeah, I never,
So I
I didn't
used
realize that.
all of your stuff is in that color palette, just rearranged to look slightly different.
Hmm.
It's attention to detail, my friend. Attention to detail.
Um, my next question for you is, what is your message?
My message 42. No, my message as a streamer and my message as a person is just have fun, love each other. That's pretty much all I want my stream is for the people that I'm streaming with. Sorry, people I'm streaming with and the people that are watching and whatnot have fun, have a good experience. I don't care if we're doing art. I don't care if we're doing D&D or if we're playing some random game or we're having an interview talk show. Just have fun with the experience in the moment. Make friends. That's all I really want. It's the only thing I ever worry about is that everybody who listens to my bullshit on the internet or watches my bullshit on the internet has fun while they're watching or listening.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. Like, I'm not pushing a product. I'm not pushing for cash. Just I'm pushing for fun.
Yeah, I think that's a start. Like if you have fun, if you're having fun, excuse me, you're you're off to a good start. That's half the battle.
Mm-hmm.
Almost, I'd say it's almost the entire battle is doing something that you know you enjoy
I would
doing.
say 80% fun, 20% making sure we're streaming on the right screen.
I take solace in the fact that I'm not the only person to ever do that.
You're not a real streamer till you've streamed your content on the wrong screen for like 5 minutes, or you've talked to your chat with your mic muted,
Yeah,
or you had some kind of technical fail for any given reason. That's when you know you're a real streamer.
I had a
If everything goes perfect every single time, you're an android.
right.
And not a cool android. Just, be
You're not Connor.
You're not Connor and you're not Kara. We'll get to Marcus.
Yeah. I had a someone I still follow him. I don't think he streams anymore. But he would I remember several times he would, stream and people would raid him, so he would go to just him. And be like, hey, such and such and such and such and such, blah blah blah, thanks for raid, da 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 da. And then he'd jump back into the game, but it was literally just his face, and he had probably, I'd say, a dozen, or a baker's dozen people in his chat. Probably half of them are actually paying attention, and they'd wait. We'd let him. We'd let it sit for like 2 minutes just to kind of like just bust his chops, and then be like, dude, you're still on the main screen there, buddy. He'd be like, oh, you guys didn't tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think half of it's making mistakes.
I mean, that's what makes watching a streamer and not watching a television program. It's like it's that real fact. It's like, oh look, this really cool person on the internet. Oh look, they made a mistake. Hey, they're human too.
Mm-hmm.
Versus watching a TV show or something where everything is precise and exact because it's meant to make you believe that it's something that's not. Like, those aren't actors, that these are these people's lives, and you're just watching these people's lives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where this is just us being like, hey, I got Cheetos tonight,
Cheetos.
Woo! There's random shit like that makes it, drops the illusion of that it's a particular skill set or a talent to do these things, that anybody actually can do this if they want to. Which is, I think, an important distinction between Twitch and TV is the mistakes, the accident.
Yeah, that's
can't
why
believe that happened.
I think it's like playing a video game online. I think a perfect example would be take a racing game, for instance. You're playing with 10 people online. I think it's like there's that human element to it. Like, okay, like the computer's not going to screw up, or when the computer is going to screw up, so you can react, appropriately. You don't know when a person's going to screw up, but there's a chance that they're gonna take that corner too quickly. They're gonna blow the apex, and you're going to benefit from that.
I'm the person driving backwards on the track.
Right.
Wrong way.
There's
Tell me
also
what to do.
there's also that person that just turns around and goes the other way. But yeah, it's we're human on here, and I think that's part of it. Is there's people they're gonna screw up, and that's what makes it. I think that's part of Twitch's charm, is it's almost relatable. I mean, some people obviously aren't relatable or whatever, but
yeah,
I think those people they're the ones that they're here for a profit and not for a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, making money is great. Everybody, I want to make money. I love money. But I also realize that right now I can't make a profit doing that. I can't make a living doing this right now. So that's why I think a lot of people like Raven, you, Tiny, myself, a lot of people just kind of approach it like, all right, well, this is for fun. What if I have a career that's not this, but I still love this to death, and I want it to be the best that it can. But if it's not perfect, then oh well. It's not like if you screw up at work, you're gonna get in trouble. And there's ramifications. If you screw up on Twitch, what's the worst that happens?
TOS.
Yeah, TOS. Like, I said boobies. I shouldn't have said boobies.
Like, yeah, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. Is that when you're a smaller streamer, like when I say smaller streamer, I mean anybody who hasn't made partner yet is still considered mid to small streamers. Is that do it for fun, do it for the friends that you can make. Don't do it for the numbers. Numbers have their own importance, but it's always going to be once stream ends, those numbers are what you look at. Never like during stream or do it for the numbers, because those numbers represent people. And if you're not doing it for the people, you're doing it for the wrong reason. So, don't be like the government. Don't just look at human beings as a number. You're number 42. Congratulations. Number 42's name is Bill. What do you know about Bill? Nothing? Well, then you're not doing it for Bill, you're doing it for Bill's number. And that's kind of how I try to look at my stream. Like, I used to be that asshole who was like, I need the numbers, I need this. If I have the numbers, then that'll lead to better things. But I didn't know anything about Bill. And Bill's like, well, they don't care about me. Why do I care about you? I don't. I can find somebody else who gives a shit about me.
Right. I want to address what Ryusure asked in chat. Ryusure said, doesn't TOS stand for terminate on site? I mean, it does, but it also means terms of service. I think in this situation, right?
Or tacos on standby.
Or tacos on standby. I can't think of something witty here. Or the original series. There you go. Or damn. Hang on, I got this. Try Oriental salsa. There you go. There's one.
What is Oriental salsa?
I don't know. Google it. I'm sure it's a thing. It's salsa. It's salsa from the Orient.
If I Google it and it ends up being some weird sex position, I'm going to freak out.
It's could be. Salsa. I mean, it's not something gross like blue waffles or anything. I'm sure.
What?
Not during dinner. Sorry, not in the inappropriate talk for the dinner table. Try Oriental salsa. It could be. You never know.
Oriental salsa.
Is it a thing?
Ingredients: 3 large tomatoes finely chopped, 3 green onions thinly sliced, 1 clove of garlic, mint, 1 tablespoon of freshly chopped cilantro or parsley, 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar or white vinegar, 1 tablespoon of peanut oil or other vegetable oil, 1 teaspoon of minced fresh ginger root, and a 1/4 teaspoon of ground pepper. It is a thing!
There we go. That's gonna be. We'll have that for the next dinner with Ryoko. Oriental salsa. Jesus.
Nice.
Top of Steel. There you go. This should just be the rest of the stream is us trying to figure out other acronyms for TOS.
Trifecta of Solitude.
Trifecta. Ooh, I like that. That could be a band name.
We only play polka music.
Oh man, I could whip out some. I listen. My dad was I'm sure he still does enjoys polka. He used to play the accordion when he was a child.
Interesting.
Hey, Nightbot, I appreciate that, but I already took a break. Take only shits. No, that doesn't really. How about take off shit? There we go. That could work. Let's be a voice. I don't know what that is.
Tilapia or salmon?
Ooh, I like that. I'll have the salmon, please. I'm trying to. The tough part is the letter O. Coming up with words that start with O. Um.
Oh is magic.
Magic.
You know.
No.
Do it all again. Yeah.
Let's
Sorry.
no, you're good. So you are also an affiliate with some badass emotes. The opposite sex, that's another one.
There
What
you
was
go.
getting affiliate like? What was that feeling?
It was a struggle. I'm not gonna lie, it was a struggle to get affiliate. But it was definitely really rewarding when I finally did, and then I was able to put some of the things that I had been making during my art streams into emotes, which was pretty great. I mean, they're not like I want to get better at making emotes because I've seen a whole bunch of emotes go around. I'm like, wow, those are really good. There's the ones that I have now, and but it was pretty awesome. Like it was one of the I did it. I did the thing. I got the people like me. Yay! It's a good feeling. The viewer count was probably the hardest struggle.
Yeah. I can speak from experience that yes, I would agree with you on that. That the viewer count is the hardest part.
The viewer count and the followers were probably the most difficult thing because a lot of people that came to my stream ended up being trolls and they would be banned and their follows no longer mattered. So getting up to that 50 was tough. Like I think my 50th follower was actually Noru's bot was my 50th follower, and I'm like, that's not how I wanted to do it, but I appreciate it all the same. And like from since then, I've gotten a couple of more, but that was a tough struggle to get there, especially since all of my friends that I had made online were streamers. And when I would stream, they were in their own stream. So I'm not going to be like, hey, come watch my stream while you're streaming. That's weird.
Right. And impossible.
So I had to find my own people to collectively come and support, which was difficult.
Yeah, it's not easy, and I know, and I mean not to dwell on the past, but like when I got back into streaming, I was essentially, aside from having X amount of followers, I was essentially starting from scratch. I couldn't reach out to the old community and being like, hey guys, I'm going live. Like if you look at my Discord, let me just see here. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are from my old, essentially past Ryoko. like
Right.
like you, Enviro, Raven, Tiny, and a couple others. And that was it. And I lost a lot of people when things went down. I mean, and the community was never that. My Discord was never anything big to begin with. Like it wasn't like other Discords that are like, oh hey, but we're so big. It was always relatively small, but I always could count on one or two people popping into my stream,
Hmm.
whether when it was they were done streaming or if they weren't streaming at all that day. Didn't have that when I got back. Um, so that's that was the hard part for me. What was that viewer count? I think I already had the followers at that point. Um, I mean, I don't remember offhand, but the getting those viewers was ugh. So, and it's sometimes it was like really demoralizing. Uh,
So I know a couple of times when you were trying to hit that viewer count, I would log in with my bot on another web browsing thing. Just have me and my bot sitting there to help raise your viewer count.
yeah, and I would I had I shouldn't admit this, but whatever. Um, I had my old account in there as well as a an account I don't talk about in here as well. So we had like your bot, you, and then two accounts I don't even use anymore. Chilling in there um, to try and help. And eventually, we just got there with I don't even know what we were streaming um, that night, but we it took a lot of work, but I think it was worth it. Like we're on our way. We're definitely. I mean, it paved the way essentially for shows like this that I want to do. I want to do more of, and I think I have the ability. Even if we, God forbid, don't get the PC, I think this is still a thing we can do, even if it doesn't involve being on cam.
Yeah.
Obviously, being on cam, having two people on cam is a bit much. But live and learn. Uh, but I'd love for myself to do if I did just this 3 times a week, which would be damn near impossible with my work schedule. Um, or at least twice a week maybe. That could happen on my 2 days off. But I'm rambling and I'm getting off topic. I'm thinking out loud. So I know you don't have a stream team yet. But there's one question on here that I had sent I think I sent to you just to remember for another dinner with Ryoko, and I completely forgot to ask it, but I'll ask you. Maybe you have a thought on it. Why do you think branding is important for a streamer on Twitch, or isn't? Do you think it's not important, and why?
Yes and no. Branding is important in the sense of it helps people immediately identify with the streamer or recognize the streamer. Like if you saw a Nike logo without the word Nike on it, you would be like, that's Nike. You can immediately identify what it is and who that represents. Like, as far as like my branding, which I might rebrand, I'm not sure, but Eat Your Cake is kind of my brand's quote unquote signature. Like if you look at my all my sub alerts and whatnot, except for the very first one, they're all cake related. Because of a random thing that happened, I had put in a redemption on my channel that would play the cake song, and when I used to be on camera a lot, I would do the cake dance, and it became this whole thing. And I've got like stickers and a t-shirt and a bag and a phone case that are purchasable through the stream and Redbubble, just in case somebody was like, hey, I like this, I want to get that. I'm like, sure, whatever, you can, you don't have to. There's emotes. But, like, when people see that, they go, hey, that's that streamer, Tairn, they do this thing with cake. But at the same time, like, it's also not super important, especially if you haven't figured out what your brand is yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, if I were to give you a brand or whatever, it would definitely be something Ryoko related.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
when I see the emote, I go, I know who that belongs to. I identify this emote or this sticker or whatever with this person. And it's just a way to show support of somebody that you enjoy talking to or watching or listening to. And it's an identifiable marker. Like, if you looked on a map and you see a McDonald's M, but it doesn't say McDonald's, you immediately recognize what it is, who it is, and do I want to go there.
Right.
So being able to identify yourself in the 100 million streamers that are on Twitch does have its own support and weight to help be like, oh yeah, that one, that's the one I want. But if you haven't found your brand or your identifying marker or whatnot, that's okay too. And a lot of people will actually change their identifying marker. I mean, look at Tiny, for instance, because your name is the beginning of your brand, and she's had Tiny Ginger Judge, Tiny Ginger Tries. She had one other one in between there.
Before Tiny tries things.
Yeah, it was Tiny Ginger Judge, Tiny Ginger Tries, Tiny Tries Things, and now she's Tiny's
Tales of Tiny, I think, right?
Tales of Tiny. Like, she's rebranded 3 times from her original brand to find something that better fits her streaming profile and what she wants to represent and how she wants people to identify her brand with her.
Right. And now, do you think so? Do you think changing your brand can also be a hindrance? People now might have trouble finding you, or be like, who the hell is this? Like, it's like you kind of have to find a happy, I guess, a happy medium or whatever, so that way, yes, I know who I am,
Oh,
and
definitely.
now people know who I am.
It's definitely 2 sides of the same coin. You're gonna have some people who are gonna be like, I don't know who this is, or I don't like what you've branded yourself into. You're no longer something that I'm interested in. And
Right.
then on the other side, you can also be like, wow, I identify more with this person. Like, let's say Meg. Meg originally started with Girl Plays Badly, and she got so much shit when she would go into other streamers of people being offended by her name because they thought that she was a guy who had a username saying that girls couldn't play games.
Oh, I
And
get that.
she's like, no, I'm the girl. I'm the girl who plays bad. So she ended up rebranding to Meg Plays Badly, and then she was Meg who plays games badly, which fits her image perfectly because some things she's good at, a lot of things she's not, and she's okay with that. But like, it's 2 sides of the same coin. Like, it's gonna lose some people and it's gonna gain other people. of depending on who resonates with your your quote unquote brand, which is your face before your face.
So I guess the next question is, and this is it's not really related, but so how do you change your name but not lose all your followers and everything?
A lot of times, if say you have like a mid-sized community where you're averaging like 20 something people a stream. So if you're a smaller stream or whatnot, a lot of times people will still tune in anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have like a larger mixed group of people, um, let them know. Be like, hey, I'm gonna be doing this thing. Um, we're still gonna be the same stream, or we're gonna be doing different things. But just a courtesy call. You're like, hey, we're gonna be switching some things up soon. I hope that you'll come back and you'll check it out and whatnot. Just being transparent with your community that things are going to look or sound or be different.
Well,
So that way they're not just smacked in the face with, hey, you were here for this. Guess what? That's gone. Deal with it.
But what's the process? Because I mean, Tiny's still Tiny. Like I didn't have to. She didn't make a new channel.
You just change your name on Twitch.
Oh, you can do that?
Yeah. But any stream that, say, like, if I change my name on Twitch right now while we're sitting in this chat to something different, like all of my in-channel points and redemptions and my follow times would be gone. Like, I'm still following you, or I still have a sub to you, but anything that I've collected within your channel would be gone. Like, Modern has done this many times, yes. Modern has changed. She's always been Modern, but the last part of her name has changed many times. And then, like, in my channel, as you sit there, you can collect gold to redeem sound effects and whatnot. And I've had to transfer her gold to her new name multiple times because when she moves to a new name, it starts a new count.
I gotcha. That's interesting.
But all the followers and stuff are still connected to that channel. Just when they go to click on your channel, it's not the name that they're familiar with.
Interesting.
So if I changed Tairn13 to Arya Balakwa, nobody's gonna know who Arya Balakwa is.
Who is Arya Blakwa? And how do you
Balakwa.
Balakwa?
Balakwa.
Balakwa.
It's a character of a book that I was writing like 15 years ago that I gave up on. But nobody knows who Arya Balakwa is. So if you saw Arya Balakwa is now streaming this, you'd be like, who the fuck is that? Why did I follow this person? And you go there and you're like, that's Tairn. I'm like, my name's Arya now. You're like, no, it's Tairn.
Yeah, I had that issue when my initial name on Twitch was it's Tack82, which is still an active account. That's what I originally first started streaming with, and probably had about the same amount of viewers I have now. But then someone was like, "Oh, you're a big fan of Ryoko and blah blah blah. You should change your name to Ryoko." And I was like, "Okay." So I just made a whole new account. Yeah. And I've had this account probably 5 years.
But yeah, you can change your name.
Oh no, only 4 years.
Your visual settings of your name. Like originally, my original account, the T in Tairn isn't capitalized. So my username and login stuff is still lowercase t, but my visual account name has a capital T because it bothered me.
Yeah, that would bother me too.
But it didn't change any of my counts because it's just a visual appearance.
Oh, I gotcha. So, like, if I change my name to, like, Ryoko Gaming, or Gaming with Ryoko, Yeah, that's interesting. That's something I'm going to explore in the coming months. What are your, I guess, goals and hopes for hopes and goals for streaming?
Uh, I hope to build a open yet tight knit community of like minded individuals, where people are excited to see other people in chat, uh, and everybody gets along and sticks up for their friends, but is always open to new people joining the chaos. And as far as like what I'm streaming or what I'm doing, doesn't particularly matter as long as the community is happy and, you know, growing collectively as a community, not just, you know, being the furious leader and having nameless, faceless followers. I wanna I wanna know the people that are interested in hanging out with me.
I have another question here. I think, um, I thought this was a question Tairn submitted, but maybe not because I don't have it written down. But I still remember it. So if you could co-stream with anybody, who would it be and why?
Um,
And what would you guys stream together? Would it be Home Alone?
it would definitely not be Home Alone. I don't know. I've done a couple of co-streams with people before, or joined other people's streams with them. Like, I've jumped into golf games with multiple people, uh, or had people jump into my stream for community games and whatnot. Uh, I don't really know what I would co-stream with somebody, or even who. I'm pretty open to the idea in general. I I plan my streams like I plan my D&D games. I don't. I just kind of go with it.
You just kind of let things fall where they may.
Yeah, because I find that the best laid plans that I make, I ignore. Everything that I do is improv and on the spot. I, I've tried planning things and it never seems to follow through.
Mm-hmm,
But
mm-hmm.
the least planning I do, the better things turn out. It gives me more wiggle room to do things. But like on a lot of times on Sunday nights, I call it co-hosting, um, with Noru and Jackbox with a group of friends. We get in there and we play Jackbox together on his stream, and then on Tuesdays I got Noru and Telly and Fox and Modern and Deer and um, Raiji. They come in and we all kind of co-host, co-stream D&D together.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in that chat. It gets a little chaotic sometimes, but hey Aunt. But
Hey there, Aunt.
like I've played a co-op game, like an actual legitimate co-op game with Tiny many years, or not many years. Like last year, we played co-op Portal 2,
Ooh.
and it was both fun and disastrous. And we also did like Magic the Gathering Arena together, which again was fun but disastrous because I can't really play co-op games with people who get competitive
Okay.
because I don't get competitive. Like I don't get salty at the competition. It's like if I lose, I lose. But I get salty at people who get salty about being competitive. If that makes sense.
No, I gotcha. I hear you on that.
So, like, if they're getting salty about not winning or something not going the way they want it to go, then I get salty about them being upset about something that's supposed to be fun. So, I don't know. It's. I don't actively seek out co-op games, but I'm not completely, that's it, not doing it.
I hear you.
So if I was invited to a co-op game, I might join, but I'm not going to actively seek it out.
Ryosura brought up has a really good idea. He said you and I should do a Home Alone co-op speed run.
Ryoko versus me in a Home Alone speed run. Ryoko, you win. I forfeit.
Yes! Yes!
You won! Congratulations!
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much. Wow, I really, it was a tough competition.
That's super tough.
Man, this is I'm off to a good start this week. Jeez, that's great. As we wind down, I want to open it up to chat. Usually there's a channel redemption to ask a question, but I'm opening it up now because we are winding down.
Yes, ask me your questions.
Yes.
I shall answer to best of ability.
Let's see. Does anybody have any questions for our guest, Tairn? Don't all jump up at once.
So one of the things that I've been thinking about doing on stream that I haven't is learning accents.
Ooh.
To further the D&D experience.
That'd be pretty cool. How would you go about doing that?
I've gotta read the rules on if I'm allowed to stream videos from YouTube if they're educational, which I think I can, and trying to mimic these accents so that I can plug them in, because my accents start individual in D&D and then they all mesh together by the end of my sentence. Will there ever be a cooking stream with Tairn? If my kitchen is ever clean and I figure out how to stream from mobile, maybe. No guarantees on that, but it's not completely out of the question either.
I wanna jump in here real quick, Ryosura. I know Ryosura wants to see me do a cooking stream really badly. What I will say I'm thinking of doing, it hit me today while I was getting ready. I'm thinking on days when I do dinner with Ryoko, I'm thinking of doing a cocktail hour.
That would be interesting.
Where it's just me kind of getting ready right before stream, and talking with people and whatnot. I don't know how that would really work out. I probably would do it mobily, I think.
Pre-stream or pre-game pre-stream with Ryoko.
Yes. So that's something I'm toying with. As far as I know, Ryosura doesn't want to hear this, but as far as cooking with Ryoko goes, those days might be behind us. I won't say no to them, but I mean, once we get the PC, it's going to be really hard to do
the
that.
mobility of it's a little bit tricky.
But again, I won't say no. To cooking with Ryoko because I'll still have the laptop. I can always stream from the laptop, but like I say, it's kind of harder here in this apartment to. There's not as much room as there was in my parents' kitchen. But if I can figure out a setup to do it, I will absolutely do it. But
Yeah, mobile streaming, it's its own beast.
Yeah. Reassure also asked, what got you into playing D&D?
So I've always been fascinated with uh, the medieval world and setting, both in books and in movies. And then I think I was maybe 12 or whatnot when I got invited to one of the boys in my neighborhood's home to do this little. It was the board game version of D&D. It was like a little starter set and whatnot, and we were playing that, and they invited me because there was a girl character token that nobody wanted to be, and of course she was a healer, and they're like, "Oh, we need a healer, go be the healer." You know, I'm like, "Whatever, fine." So I was playing that, and there was this moment where one of the boys found a dead body in the dungeon, and we got attacked by a troll, and he's like, "Can I take a shit on the dead body?" And the guy running the game was like, "Sure." And like, could she throw the dead body at the troll for mass damage because it's covered in shit? Yes, this happened. It's completely bonkers. And they're like, she doesn't really have the strength for that, but if she can roll really good, I'll let it happen. So I ended up rolling a natural 20 for my strength check, so I was able to lift up this body, and they're like, if you can roll another 20, you can throw it. And I rolled a second 20, and I
Whoa.
threw a shit-covered dead body at a troll and did insane amount of damage, and it was this whole thing because we weren't playing it correctly, but I was like, this is fantastic. You can't find this in any other
I call Ray.
board game, and you can't find this in any electronic game. And then many moons passed, and a friend of mine online was like, "Hey, I'm gonna start a D&D campaign. Do you want to join me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." I've not played an actual game of D&D since I was a kid. And we played a one shot that was entirely too short, and they're like, "Okay, cool, you know how to play now, I'll write a campaign." Well, that campaign never happened. And in the meantime, I started watching Critical Role to kind of like further my knowledge of how the world of D&D works and all this kind of stuff, and I became obsessed. Like, I mean obsessed. There's over 600 hours of footage for campaign 1 of Critical Role, and I watched it all in a matter of like 4 months. I didn't sleep, I didn't do anything but watch D&D, and I just completely obsessed with it. And then I wanted to find somebody that I knew who was running a game, and I never could. Like, I never found somebody to play with, so I ended up talking to my friend Noru, who's practically my little brother, and he was going to be our DM. And he started doing research into it, and he's like, this is a lot. I don't think I have the time or the passion to actually put a campaign together and run it. So I was like, you know what? I'll do it. I'll write a campaign. I'll put in the time and the money to get this going. And about 6 months of writing later, we actually started our campaign, and it's been going pretty strong ever since. I think we're up to tomorrow will be episode 7
Oh, wow.
of the campaign. After doing like 3 weeks of one shots to get everybody familiar with the programs we were using and kind of letting them learn about what their characters do and how they operate, so that when we go live, they weren't just bumbling around being like, "What's a D4?" So they can kind of learn it, and that's pretty much how I got into D&D. Is I obsessed over it, like a lot, like really obsessed over it. My goals for the future are to buy every single book physically and every single book electronically to have all media sources covered. Currently sitting at 8 books right now. I've only been DMing for like a couple of months, but I've slowly been growing my obsession. It's a lot of books, and there's like 40 books that I don't have.
Oh wow, so there's
a lot.
quite a few.
And like some of the books that I have, my sister actually gave me 2 Christmases ago because her and her ex-husband split up, and um, he had the player's handbook, and then he had some Pathfinder books, which we're running 5e, if you're familiar with the different mods of D&D. We're doing 5e because it's the most user-friendly, especially for new players. And I started reading some of these books. I'm like, this is awesome. I want to experience this world that's completely made up out of people's heads, and it can change just like that if somebody does something weird. You can't find that in board games, and you can't find it in electronic games. You can't even find it in movies or anything. There's nothing quite like the world of D&D, because you could have 12 tables running the same campaign, and every single table will have a different experience. And that's amazing. I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to it.
I know you also have quite a collection of dice. As well. We've talked about that.
I'm a dice goblin. I collect the click-clack math rocks. I have an extensive collection that I am ever growing.
Yeah, I remember when you first told me about like dice, or not. I don't think you told me about it. I was like, oh, I might want to get into D&D. This sounds like something cool. So when I was assembling my grocery list like a week and a half ago, I bought like a pack of dice, like regular dice, thinking like, oh yeah, this is dice. This could work, right?
I know. You sent me a picture, and it was a 6-pack of 6-sided dice. Yeah. I'm like, well, it's a start. It's a start.
My first dice set. Yeah, and I remember you sent me a couple links to different sets, and some of them are really, really unique looking.
There's this one die that I found online that I really want to get, but it's so expensive for a single die. It's like $30
for one die.
It's like 3 inches big.
Ooh.
In all directions, and inside it's got handcrafted waves and a ship inside. It's like, instead of it being a ship in a bottle, it's a ship in a die, and it is so pretty. I'm just like, I want that for my mantle. That is gorgeous. I think I actually posted it in the dice section of the Discord. It's so pretty. Yeah, I did. It's the first picture I posted in the dice section of Discord.
Oh, nice.
I want it.
Modern. It hasn't shipped yet. Probably won't ship until.
Right. Deer needs that. It'd be his Poseidon die.
I want to see this dice set real quick before we do anything else.
It's one single die, but it is gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous, and it's fucking huge too.
It's in D&D talk.
It's in Click Clack Rocks.
Oh, Click Clack Rocks.
Rocks, which is what most of us who play D&D refer to as dice.
Is it the one with a boat in it?
Yes.
Holy shit!
It's a handmade small little boat, and like that 20-sided die is 3 inches in every direction.
$30?
It's somewhere between $30 and $50.
Holy shit!
That's not the most expensive die that I found.
That's really cool, though. I mean,
it's really cool. Like, there's the D&D anniversary, Sapphire anniversary set, which were metal dice that had a real sapphire in it, and they were $299 for a set of dice. And I'm like, that's gorgeous, but Jesus Christ. Dice can be
Yeah,
expensive.
I know. The one I got for you, the rainbow dice, that was one of the more affordable.
The He-Man dice?
No, I think it was the rainbow dice.
Yeah, they're rainbow. You know that the video that they did of He-Man.
Oh yes, I'm very well aware of it because it almost gave
the
me.
rainbow behind them, it's the same color.
Oh, okay.
So I call them the He-Man dice.
Yeah, that video. So a friend of mine back home has this knack for finding the weirdest yet most funniest shit on YouTube, and he found that. He showed it to me, and I about had a stroke the first time I watched it from laughing so hard.
Just out of curiosity, do you have an Apple product phone or iPod or iPad or anything that has Siri attached to it?
I do not. I have.
So if you do, ask Siri. Say, "Hey Siri, what does the fox say?"
Does
I know
Google?
Siri's not.
Will Google do it? I have a Google thing.
Now that I've said it, it won't do it, but I'm going to try anyway. Hey Siri.
Sorry.
What does the fox say?
Jesus Christ.
That's not what I was hoping it would say. I did it the other day, just randomly at work, and it said, the fox says right now, wash your hands. Stay inside. Don't touch your face. And it was the funniest shit I've ever heard.
Christ.
I was like, are you kidding me right now? I couldn't even help the customers. I had to let my coworker do it because I was too busy laughing. It was amazing. And if you have hey Google, how do you wash your hands? It'll sing to you.
No, it won't.
It will.
I'll be right back. Hang on. Hang on. Hey Google, how do you wash your hands?
Sorry, I can't tell.
No. Hey Google. Hey Google, how do I wash my hands?
Sorry, I don't understand, but I found something else. Do you want to know how often you need to wash your hands?
No, I don't. Never mind. Go to hell. Dumb bitch.
Yeah, if you do it right and you say, "Hey Google, how do you wash your hands?" It'll start singing, "Wash your hands under warm water," or something like that.
Oh, I might throw it across the room if it did that. Ooh.
Yeah, it'll sing to you for like a while. They have little Easter eggs all over the talking helpers. Like, hey Contra, how do you do this?
That's funny. Yeah, never mind. Go to hell. I'm really mean to my Google.
Probably why she doesn't listen to you.
She's really good at playing ocean sounds when I go to bed. It's about all I use her for. That and a paperweight.
Fun.
I guess as we wind it down, I'll once again ask anybody else in chat has questions for Tairn or Ryoko. I'll answer any questions. Nothing's off the table for me. I'll answer anything. Almost anything.
Almost anything. We stay in deals. Well, that way we don't get banned.
What are your top 5 movies? Ooh. Well, Ghostbusters is number 1. That's my favorite movie of all time. Number 2, Black Hawk Down. I really love that movie. Number 3, I really love the movie Cloverfield.
That was pretty.
Number 4, Jesus. That's a harder question than you think it is. I'll say, just because I'm a nerd, I'll say Titanic. But which Titanic movie? There's several. I'll leave that up for you guys to figure out. And coming in number 5, I don't know, fucking Harold and Maude, another older movie.
I'll say my top 5 in no particular order is V from Vendetta, Fight Club,
Fight Club.
Moana.
Oh.
What's my last 2? No, I like the TV show better than the movie. Trying to think of movies.
Yeah, right. It's not as easy as you
I
think.
like a lot of movies, but trying to think of what they are. So I got V from Vendetta, Fight Club, Moana. Huh. Shit. I got 3 of my top like favorite movies.
Yeah, that question is not an easy one.
Let's see. We'll say Tangled, I guess.
There's 4.
And shit. I just forgot every single cinema thing I've ever seen in my life.
Is it Home Alone?
No. And the 4th one or whatever was bullshit.
Yeah, they were all kind of bullshit after the second one.
I mean, they're all kind of bullshit after the first.
Yeah, they're all kind of bullshit because the premise is ridiculous and insane.
This is hard because I own over 800 movies. Green Mile.
Ooh, The Green Mile is a great movie. Oh my
Tangled
god.
is loosely in there because I needed a filler.
Love The Green Mile.
Okay, I'm gonna replace Tangled with Fried Green Tomatoes.
Well, that's an older movie too.
There's my top 5.
Okay.
I don't actually watch a whole lot of movies, despite owning a lot of movies. In most recent years, I find that watching a movie that might be like an hour and a half to 2 hours long is so much harder to watch than an entire season of a TV show that might take 12 hours to watch.
Right. I guess I'll go with my my last question, unless anybody else wants to throw anything else in there. Give a second for chat to catch up. And I'm going to take that as a no. Okay, so the last question, you know the history behind this question because I think you've been here.
They're typing out their tops.
Oh, Reassure's got their top 5. The Usual Suspects, The Bourne Ultimatum, The Forbidden Kingdom, Ghost in the Shell, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 are your movies.
Ghost in the Shell, the live action, or the original animated version? The distinction is important.
Yes.
I will say, like, my favorite books are anything written by Tamora Pierce.
Yeah, books is a harder one. Um,
Nice. The animated one was definitely better than the live action.
yeah, books that's a tough one. I would have to say, obviously, To Kill a Mockingbird, um, is great. And this is in no particular order. There are two books by the same guy about NASCAR that I love. One's about Dale Earnhardt and every race he ran at Daytona, and then another one's about the 1992 season. Those books are both excellent. I blew through those books. I'm currently reading a book that I've been reading for the last like 2 years, called Tomorrow Will Be Different. The love, loss, and it's about trans equality and whatnot. It's a really good book. And another one's an older book called Quicksilver about a terrorist attack on the Pentagon, which was actually written a few years, if not less than that, before 9/11. We don't talk about the live action one. Saying we don't talk about the Dragon Ball Z one. About Dragon Ball Evolution.
Facts. Anime should never be made into live action. It's just disastrous in all directions.
Though Detective Pikachu was pretty good.
True, but it wasn't actually based off the anime. It used anime as the base of its story.
Oh, that's also a good point. I just wanted to get out there and say that I really enjoyed Detective Pikachu. Okay. Last question. And you know the history of this question. I told you about it. Blah 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 blah. What does being a queer streamer mean to you?
I guess it's just nice to help represent in a sense of, we are here and we're not afraid to show ourselves. Like, I don't ever hide the fact that I'm a queer streamer on stream or in my profile or in my tags if I remember to change my tags so that it actually says it. Sometimes I forget. But, just that showing that we're not afraid to let ourselves be known. And that while being queer is just a small part of who I am, it's an important part of who I am. And it doesn't matter what trolls come in or what dumb things people say, whether it be complete ignorance or just uneducation in the sense of topic, that it's not going to deter me from being who I am and putting out the content that I do put out, or stop me from trying to be friends with people who aren't in my quote unquote category, so to speak. It's kind of like when you see a queer actor in a movie actually playing a queer character, and you're like, fuck yeah, you know, that represents us, even though they 90% always die. You're just like, we were there.
Right.
We made a mark. But it's nice to maybe help somebody realize that it's okay to be yourself. Like, I know in high school, I got, back when Live Journal was a thing.
Right.
And you could post as an anonymous reader. I had a couple of people from my high school actually post on there being like, thank you for always being open about who and what you were. It inspired me to not be afraid to be myself. Because I was loud and proud. Nobody was going to shut me up about it. It's like, I don't care if it makes you uncomfortable. That's your problem, not mine. And you know, being open about that on the internet hopefully helps other people feel like they can be themselves on the internet as well, in the sense of you don't have to hide your sexuality or your gender identification or even down to what race you are by not showing your camera. Like, just be you, and people who like you will find you. You just gotta let them know. Don't hide it.
Right. No, yeah, no, that's 100% right. Um, Give me 1 second.
What is the worst video game movie you've ever seen?
Worst video
Street
game?
Fighter.
Oh, wait, oh, video game movie. I'm sorry. I thought you asked what the worst video game I've ever seen is.
Worst video game movie you've ever seen?
Worst video game movie.
Street Fighter.
Street Fighter is pretty bad.
So bad.
I would also throw in most of the Resident Evils were pretty bad.
I don't know. The Resident Evils weren't too bad if you didn't play the game.
Yeah, if you didn't play the game, but I unfortunately or fortunately did play. No,
Like,
so
I didn't play the game, so I was just
Oh,
entertained by the movie.
I mean, I thought the second one was all right. The first one was average, and the third one was, Luke, was moist, and then everything after
Yeah.
that was just garbage. I'm trying to think the worst video game movie. Yeah, I'll go with Street Fighter.
Street Fighter was really fucking bad. I mean, it was also early 90s before they gave a shit.
Right. They could just. I mean, I still don't think they give a shit
So.
now. They pump these things out because
It was still pretty bad.
I know Blood Rain was pretty bad. Blood Rain we didn't even because I worked at a movie theater. I remember we got like promotional stuff for Blood Rain, and the movie never came out. Like the movie was made and everything, it just never got. I don't think it ever got released. Worldwide. Mortal Kombat's pretty bad too.
Mortal Kombat was pretty bad, but Street Fighter was worse. Yeah, it was.
Ooh,
It was.
Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li was pretty bad too. I forgot about that movie.
If it has Street Fighter in the title, it's gonna be a bad movie.
That movie is. But here's the thing. That movie is like less than 15 years old. That's a relatively new movie. I remember I saw that. I was working at the movie theater when this Chun Li movie came out. So
I have to actually look up what movies were made because of video games. Because I can't I blocked them out of my brain. Let's see. How many of these have I actually seen? Yep, I saw the Street Fighter movie when I was a kid. Doom was actually pretty bad. That was not good.
Doom was good because The Rock got killed. That movie was. I mean, Doom was pretty bad too. I mean, the ending of Doom was cool because it was all first person, or a bunch of it was first person. I think if they had taken a chance and shot the whole movie that way, that would have been. I think that would have been really ambitious, and I probably would have liked the movie more. Because you want to see studios take chances, but they didn't do that.
On the flip side, I think the best movie that was based off of a video game is either going to come down to Tron or Lara Croft.
No mention of Silent Hill?
It's good, but I have issues with it.
House of the Dead was bad. I remember that. Frankie Muniz was in that, wasn't he? And also Christian Slater. Christian Slater did a video game movie. I'm good, Nightbot, but thank you.
Yeah, I would say that one of the better video game movies that I've ever seen was the Lara Croft one. Not the one with Angelina Jolie, but the new ones that they did
Oh, I didn't see the
that
new
had
ones.
the origin story of it, that followed the new Lara Croft game.
Because the
Those
original
were pretty good.
the original one that came out in like 01 or 2000, that wasn't
With
that bad.
Angelina?
Yeah, with Angelina, that wasn't that bad. She was a good Lara Croft.
It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. Like, if you ever played any of the games or follow any of the history of it, it wasn't that good. They focused on points that didn't actually matter in the game to make a more compelling movie, which is fine, but it doesn't follow the video game.
Right.
Whereas the ones that they made recently, it's almost like you're just watching the cinematics of the video game. I'm like, this is great. This is how it should be.
Which do you think was worse, Double Dragon or Mortal Kombat Annihilation? Double Dragon was pretty bad, but it did have Scott Wolf in it from Party of Five, I think, right?
Okay.
I think he was in it.
I did not watch Double Dragon.
But yeah. So looking ahead, I guess you guys should make a list of crappy NES or Game Boy games, and I will stream them since I know somebody has enough redemption points to
Make you play
to
them
make me
all?
play
Thank
them.
you.
And Reassure said that they've been working on a list, so I am more or less boned, I think.
Yep, because now I'm at 17.4.
Oh,
That was...
God, what do you get? Oh, God, that's only
Play the bad games.
700.
Play them all.
I mean, yeah, God, you could do...
A good majority of them, yes.
yeah, that evil laugh, that's right. Yeah, Reassure, that was an evil... you could redeem the 12-hour stream.
I could. I could redeem a 12-hour stream and make you play all the games at the same
Oh
time.
my God, you could!
I'm bored of this game. Play this bad game now.
I'm
Dance, monkey, dance!
I actually
And while I'm watching your 12-hour stream, I'm gaining my points back.
I don't actually hate that idea because I have a lot of time coming up. At the end of the month, I'm taking.
Tag team it. We can tag team it, Rishiro.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, I know not next week, but I think the week after, that last week of May, my birthday week, I'm off for like 4 straight days, maybe even more if I don't fucking feel like going in. So
Don't
yeah,
you have like 200 days of like?
Oh my God,
leave?
I wish I had 200 days. Wait, I do have 200 days because I have 200 hours. That's 200 days, isn't it?
I mean,
40 hours in a week.
it's like 100, what, 180?
Oh, it's
Or like
it's
150?
yeah, it's several. It's a lot, and they're not gonna get paid out. 200 days of bad video games. Blah. Oh God.
Then you'll get like one really good game in there and be like, what is this? Do my eyes deceive me?
I mean,
No,
I
just
can
kidding. Change the game.
God, I can tell you these games, the ones that I have, I mean, they're all pretty bad because I did that on purpose for whatever stupid reason. Like some of these are they're either really hard or just unplayable. Like, Alien 3 is just bad. Days of Thunder is unplayable. Friday the 13th is just really hard. Ghostbusters 2 is just really bad. Heavy Shredded's unplayable. Home Alone. Jurassic Park is just really, really bad.
I want you to play Japanese games that you can't read
Oh my god.
and let you figure out what the hell's going on.
I mean,
That's
Nightmare.
what I used to do. I found some pretty cool games that way. Like it was like Ultimate Super Dodgeball, where you get to be like a Gundam, and it wasn't dodgeball, it was volleyball, and you get to be like Gundams and whatnot on one
That
side, and then
sounds
on the other side was like squid people, and you had to play volleyball back and forth. No idea how to play. Everything was in Japanese, but it was fun.
Ooh, that person just blew through that stop sign. Yeah, I mean, Nightmare on Elm Street and Paperboy are just bad games. Oh god.
Isn't Pokemon Green basically Pokemon Red?
Yeah, but it's in Japanese.
Ah.
Kotaro Adventure is horrible. 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 It's just 4 awful games. Awful games. Like, awful.
Play Final Fantasy Tactics.
I don't have that though.
Or the very first Final Fantasy. That's an NES game. The very, very first one. It was their Final Fantasy, otherwise they were going to shut down production completely. Now we're at like 16.
Play Resident Evil 6. No, I tried playing Resident Evil 6 with my old roommate, and I got fed up, and I threw the control. I was like, fuck this game. Fuck these controls. I'm not fucking
Fuck
doing
this
this.
shit, I'm out. I don't want to be.
Yeah, bad game. Resident Evil 6 is trash. And 5's not much better. I don't care what anyone says. The only thing good on 5 was the, I guess, the mercenary missions that you could do after you beat the game. That was a lot of fun. Yeah. I'm a big Resident Evil fan, so I don't appreciate what they did with 5 and 6. And I
We
refuse
gotta
to...
get you this PC so you can start playing all these bad games in high res.
Oh, God. Oh, man. Well, everything should be opening up up here soon. I think our area got the all clear, so May 15th should start opening. So maybe birthday week is when I go out and order the PC, and then it would be here like 10 days later. I might do it the week before. That way it's here for what's it called? My birthday. Yeah. Well, yeah, and I definitely want to have it for Pride Month. Because there's a few games I wanna play.
I gotta get my hair did for Pride.
Yeah. Oh, I'll have my new wig by then too. That actually should be here next week.
I'm gonna dye the mohawk tie-dye rainbow.
Ooh, that'll be fun. Alrighty. Ryoko versus Punch Out. Punch Out's a good game. I'll play Punch Out. Hell, I'll play Punch Out right now. I love Punch Out. That's a good game.
What's your name on Steam?
What's my name on Steam? I think it's just _Ryoko. Or it might be my old account, _Tak. TAK.
Add them both.
Just keep in mind, I am limited what I can play on this. If you're thinking of buying me a shitty game, I also say don't buy me any games, because
Buy Ryoko Genital Jousting.
Genital Jousting.
You can't play it on stream, but you can enjoy it privately.
Please don't buy me that game.
You're just a giant dick walking around fighting other giant dicks.
No, I have not heard of that game, Modern.
Look it up on Steam. I
Ah.
shit you not. But if you do, it's gonna suggest to you every titty game that Steam has to offer. Just
Titty
gonna let you know.
game.
Yes, and I looked it up because somebody mentioned it. I'm like, what is this? And now under every suggested like list of games, it has some kind of weird porn game that it suggests to me because I looked up genital jousting.
Genital
My God,
jousting.
yes. Oh man, that game is so weird.
It's underscore Ryoko is my name. Okay. Genital jousting. It's $7. I feel like that game is overpriced.
Are you watching the video for it?
Well, we're about to. Buckle up.
This is John. John has an ordinary life.
He is a dick and balls.
Getting clean.
Yeah.
Getting dressed.
Ew.
Staying fashionable.
Why?
Trying to get to work.
Oh
on
God,
time.
he's got hit by a car.
Not always making it.
Oh God, he's
Trying
dead.
to get his work done. A steady daily routine.
Why is there a trail of slime? Oh my God, he's just wrecking the office. Oh my God, he's getting run over by a bunch of
Isn't
dicks.
the danger of paper cuts? Oh, it must sting.
Oh,
Isn't
oh,
staying
oh.
motivated in a job that will grind you down
Oh
and disrespect
man. There's a
Now
lot
he's
of
playing
titty
Breakout.
porn
Now he's got
games.
something coming out of his butt.
you. Isn't the housekeeping?
Does he really have a butt if
What's
he's just
difficult
licking
about
balls?
Oh
being
my
John?
God, his phone just came out of his
Finding
taint.
love. Oh, how desperately he wants to find love. Real,
Now he's like,
beautiful,
oh my
lasting,
God, now he's having sex with another dick.
But John is a dick.
Why would you do such a thing, Modern?
Dick things. Just so many dick things.
Oh my God.
I can't believe you've never heard of this game.
I'm not okay after this. Jesus Christ, why can't I stream this?
Oh, gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, I am not buying that game. And one day I'm gonna gift that game to you and Ryoko. You know what I might do? I might stream it me playing it, just my reaction to it.
Oh man.
Christ, genital jousting. On that note,
You're welcome.
I'm gonna go ahead and end stream. We're gonna go on a raid. We're gonna go raid my friend Megan Animation. She is a art streamer, and she is amazing. Oh, Nightbot, your subscription ended, Nightbot. There we go. So it's that if you got my emotes, and if it's not, if you don't, that's okay. We got those. So we are going to raid. I gotta make sure I spell her name right.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you again for coming on. Everyone, go make sure you check out Tairn. She is amazing. D&D, all that fun stuff. There's her info there. I'm sorry, I'm trying to do 4 things at once here.
It's alright. We got most of the commands down. Still a mod around here. Doing things.
Mod of the year. Yeah, and I will be
Mod of the moment.
I'll be live again tomorrow night. We're probably gonna play more read-only memories. I'm taking a long-ass break from Pokemon because I don't remember how to play Pokemon Crystal. Pokemon genital jousting. I'll see you guys all again.
Squirrel.
My thanks to Tairn. And yeah, that is that. With that, I'm really bad at ending streams. I'm Ryoko, and I will see you at the movies.
What are we gonna see, Ryoko?